And you appear nude in the film?
Yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm. Now, is that all... Is that all right, do you think, to be doing that?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
What really went wrong between Lisa Bonet and her co-star on A Different World? Why did Lisa Bonet truly hate him after something happened on the show? Did a major conflict or hurtful event cause this bad blood?
I explained to him how I wanted to use it on the show, because that would be a great thing to see a girl who's upper class kid having a baby, not married because she didn't want to be married, and the girls could root for her. I was explaining all that we could do.
How did their relationship on and off screen change because of it? Let's dive into the story and find out what caused Lisa Bonet to feel this way.
Mom, you know what Dad's gonna do? He's gonna go down, he's gonna say, like, one little scratch or wobble, and then he's gonna say no.
Lisa Bonet became famous for playing Denise Huxtable. Denise was a fun, free-spirited college student, and her character quickly became a fan favorite. But Denise's journey on the show didn't last long. Even though she was one of the stars, Bonet left the show after just one season. The reason? She was becoming a big teen idol, and her career was taking off. Bonet was ready to explore new opportunities in the movie world. She got a role in the movie Angel Heart, which was a very different kind of film compared to the family-friendly show. The movie was controversial because it had nudity and intense scenes.
If we don't go around murdering people, all right, Mr. Angel?
Bonet wanted to make sure that Bill Cosby, the star of the show and a father figure to her on set, was okay with her decision. She told him about the role and the nudity, and Cosby gave her his blessing, but also warned her that the industry could be harsh. He said, "I know that you kids can be erased just like that," meaning that fame can disappear quickly. Cosby didn't watch Angel Heart, though, because he didn't think it was for him. But this was just the beginning of Bonet's challenges. Soon after, she became pregnant with musician Lenny Kravitz's child. Bill Cosby wasn't happy about this. The show's director, Debbie Allen, wanted to include Bonet's pregnancy in the storyline to show a young woman handling school and motherhood, but Cosby didn't agree. He felt it would change how people saw the character of Denise. Instead of working around it, Bonet was written out of The Cosby Show and even removed from its spin-off show, A Different World.
I explained to him how I wanted to use it on the show, because that would be a great thing to see a girl who's upper class kid having a baby, not married because she didn't want to be married, and the girls could root for her. I was explaining all that we could do.
Bonet's exit left many people disappointed. Her co-stars felt that they missed an opportunity to show a real and inspiring story on TV. After leaving the shows, Bonet's life was filled with big changes. Some believe it was because of her lifestyle choices, while others think the tension between her and Bill Cosby just became too much. Her ex-husband, Lenny Kravitz, mentioned in his memoir that Bonet's relationship with Cosby became untenable, meaning it couldn't be fixed.
First thing I did was really try to communicate to the writers that we needed to connect with the actors and vice versa, because that was the missing link.
Now, A Different World wasn't just a funny show about college life. It was much more than that, thanks to Debbie Allen. She made sure the show talked about important issues, especially ones that mattered to Black people and young folks. Under her leadership, the show tackled heavy topics like date rape, apartheid in South Africa, and the HIV crisis. These were not easy topics to talk about, but Allen knew they needed to be heard. The cast, like Kadeem Hardison, said that the network didn't always like these serious topics. Sometimes the people in charge didn't think the show should go there. Hardison said, "We were doing a lot of controversial stuff. It was some stuff that maybe the network wasn't as thrilled about." But Allen didn't back down. She wanted the show to show real-life struggles, not just jokes and love stories. Actor Daryl M. Bell, who played Ron, also said it was a constant fight with the network. The network bosses, mostly white men, didn't understand why these serious topics were important. They just wanted the show to be funny. Bell said, "Them white boys did not care about date rape, apartheid, riot, HIV. They were like, just put Whitley and Dwayne and be funny." But Allen believed the show could open people's minds and hearts. She kept fighting for the show to cover important issues that could change people's thinking.
I looked at every episode and I also saw a lot of foolishness. You know, I'm all for laughter and buffoonery is okay, but to an end. What is it about? You know, we don't have time to do an episode at a black university where their assignment is to take care of an egg. No, we're dealing with serious issues out here.
As mentioned, the show didn't shy away from tough topics, and for some viewers, that was too much. They didn't think serious issues should be talked about in a sitcom. One of the most talked about episodes was about AIDS.
A Different World, we did the first show about AIDS on television, the very first.
Back then, there was a lot of fear and confusion about the disease. NBC wasn't sure if they should air it, but Bill Cosby, the star of the show, insisted. The episode aired in 1991 during the 4th season and was even marked TV May, meaning it was for mature audiences.
You would have thought we put Jesus Christ back on the cross the way, advertisers pulled out.
The episode featured Tisha Campbell as Josie Webb, a college student at Hillman College who was HIV positive. In the story, Josie shares her HIV status in a class where students are asked to write their own obituary. The reactions of her classmates show how much people didn't understand AIDS at the time. Some were scared and didn't want to be around her, thinking they could catch the virus just from simple things like touching or hugging. The episode did 2 important things. First, it helped clear up myths about how HIV is spread. It taught viewers that HIV isn't passed on by things like kissing or hugging. Second, it showed the importance of kindness. In the episode, Josie is worried that her boss, Mr. Gaines, will fire her after learning about her condition. But instead, he treats her with kindness and understanding. The episode reminded everyone to be compassionate and to remember that anyone, no matter who they are, could have HIV.
Her mouth is saying no, but you're sure that there are parts of her saying yes, not to mention parts of you.
Another controversial subject of the show that sparked conversations about consent, leading to people criticizing the show for being too intense and topical for a sitcom, was the issue of Date R in the episode No Means No. The episode follows naive environmentalist and first-year student Winifred Brooks, who has a huge crush on a charming and seemingly friendly star baseball player, Garth Parks. Soon learns that Garth isn't the man everyone thinks he is, and that Garth has been sexually assaulting women at Hillman. Garth attempts to assault Freddie while on a date after the school dance. ADW addressed several issues here. First, it dismantled the false belief that women really want sex, but because society tells them they're not supposed to ask for it, it is a man's job to let them off the hook so that it doesn't look like their idea, so says Garth. Second, it illuminated the fact that survivors of R and SUL assault do not always feel that they can report their assault, and sometimes believe that if they consented to other things, including the date itself, then the R was also their fault. Third, it showed that it is critical for men to have conversations with one another about masculinity, and SUL violence. This is demonstrated through a powerful conversation between Dwayne and Walter Oakes, Sinbad, the male dorm director at Hillman, who is known for his jokes and making light of issues, but who deals very sternly with this issue when Dwayne approaches him.
What part do you listen to? Her mouth. And then you go outside, take a swim in an unheated pool.
One episode that also sparked a lot of emotions was War of the Words. In this episode, Colonel Taylor, a character on the show, talks about his time in the Vietnam War. The episode aired when the Gulf War was happening, and many Americans had strong feelings about it. Colonel Taylor shared the tough experiences he went through in the military and how it changed the way he saw the U.S. government in patriotism.
People still depend on us to uphold freedom.
How many countries are we supposed to take care of?
The episode led to a lot of debates among viewers. Some people liked that the show wasn't afraid to talk about serious topics like war. They thought it was important for the show to show the struggles of Black veterans who don't always get talked about when it comes to the military. However, some people didn't like the way the episode made the U.S. military look. For viewers with family members in the military or those who really supported the troops, the episode seemed disrespectful. They didn't like seeing a popular show question America's role in wars, especially with the Gulf War still going on. By the early 1990s, TV was changing. NBC wanted to focus on younger audiences and started showing shows like Friends and Seinfeld more. Sadly, this led to the end of A Different World. It was hard for fans to watch the show change and lose what made it so special. Many fans still look back on the good old days of A Different World, wishing it could have stayed the same. Another controversy it occasionally stirred was the way the show represented Greek culture. Greek life is a big part of many HBCUs. Fraternities and sororities are not just clubs, they are like family. Members of these organizations often create deep bonds and support one another through college and beyond. So when A Different World featured Greek life, it grabbed the attention of viewers familiar with these organizations. However, some members of Black Greek letter organizations felt that the way A Different World showed Greek life was sometimes unrealistic. To them, it seemed like the show focused too much on certain dramatic moments, which didn't capture the full picture. Some even thought that the show made things seem more wild or sensationalized than they actually are in real life. They worried that this could lead people to believe that Black Greek life was all about partying or drama, which missed the deeper, more meaningful parts. Now, there was a powerful episode that tackled the tough topic of apartheid in South Africa. Apartheid was a time when people in South Africa were forced to live separately because of their race. The story on the show focused on the students at Hillman College, a fictional Black college, who found out that one of their biggest donors, a company called Orange Glow, was investing in South Africa.
We're talking about life, real life, in the streets, and I was out there living it.
This news caused a lot of tension at the college. The students had to ask themselves, should they continue to accept money from a company that supported apartheid? Whitley Gilbert, one of the main characters, came from a wealthy background and had a hard time understanding why it was such a big issue. Her boyfriend Julian, however, was deeply involved in protests against apartheid. He even suggested that students return their scholarships from Orange Glow. Kim, Whitley's roommate, was in a tough spot. She really needed her scholarship, but she also wanted to do the right thing. In the end, Kim chose to give up the scholarship to show her support for the fight against apartheid. This episode was important because it showed young people dealing with real-world issues. It reminded viewers that even small actions, like turning down money, can help make a difference in the fight for justice.
I looked at every episode and I also saw a lot of foolishness. You know, I'm all for laughter and buffoonery is okay, but to an end. What is it about? You know, we don't have time to do an episode at a Black university where their assignment is to take care of an egg. No, we're dealing with serious issues out here.
A Different World gave many people a glimpse into the life of college students at historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. The show was groundbreaking for its time, showing Black students living their college lives with friends, love, and personal growth. But some HBCU students and graduates argue that the show didn't show the full picture. While the show dealt with important issues like struggling to pay for college, it focused more on the fun and excitement of campus life. This left out the real problems that many HBCUs face. In reality, many HBCUs struggle with money. These schools often don't have as much funding as bigger, well-known universities. This means they can have outdated buildings, not enough financial aid, and fewer resources for students. Many students at HBCUs deal with serious financial challenges. Some can't afford to finish college and end up dropping out. Others graduate with a lot of student loan debt, which can make it hard to find a good job after school. The struggles around money are a big part of the HBCU experience, but you didn't always see them on A Different World.
The fall from grace of a living American legend 50 years in the making. Bill Cosby's alleged questionable behavior had gone largely unnoticed for decades.
In recent years, many people have started to look at A Different World in a different way because of its connection to Bill Cosby. Cosby played a big part in creating the show, which was a spin-off from The Cosby Show. But after many women accused him of serious crimes, some viewers now feel uncomfortable with anything linked to his name. For many, The Cosby Show has become hard to watch. When these accusations came out, some TV networks stopped showing it. Others removed the show, but later brought it back before Cosby's trial ended. Even though Cosby is connected to a different world, the show hasn't faced as much of the same backlash. Some people say they find A Different World easier to watch than The Cosby Show. The show talks about important issues, and many viewers find it valuable for that reason, even with Cosby's involvement. However, when the show brings up sensitive topics like some people feel uncomfortable knowing about Cosby's real-life accusations. Still, many fans continue to enjoy A Different World for its important messages, choosing to focus on what the show taught rather than the controversy surrounding its creator. For some, it's about the lessons the show shares, and they can separate the creator from the content. They believe the show's value stands on its own, even though Cosby played a big role in it.
Daddy! Oh!
Talking about The Cosby Show, let's look at controversies surrounding The Cosby Show. Starting with Sabrina Beauf, who played Sandra Huxtable, the oldest daughter on The Cosby Show. While the show was very popular, her time on it wasn't always easy. Sabrina had a tough time with the producers and wasn't happy with how they treated her character. Sandra didn't get much screen time compared to the other Huxtable kids. This made Sabrina feel like her acting skills weren't being used well. She worked on the show for 5 years but didn't feel proud of her work. She once said, "I feel cheated that 55 million people a week watch something that is not my best work." Sabrina wanted to play more interesting roles that showed off her talent. Another problem came from her contract with NBC. The contract said Sabrina couldn't take on other acting jobs without asking for permission. She loved acting in theater and wanted to perform in a play called As You Like It, but the producers didn't want her to do it. Sabrina felt stuck and unhappy. She didn't like her role on the show and couldn't do something she loved. Things got worse when Sabrina was asked to come to work but wasn't given much to do. In one season, she only appeared in 5 out of 25 episodes. Sabrina felt like her time was being wasted. She told the Washington Post, "You can't tell me we want you here if I am not going to work."
I am your father. If it was not for me, you would not.
Also, when The Cosby Show was pulled from TV networks, things got tough for Geoffrey Owens, who played Sandra Huxtable's husband Elvin Thibodeau. No reruns means no residuals, and the actor was forced to pick up a day job at Trader Joe's. According to NJ.com, his new gig was discovered by a fan who snapped a photo and submitted it to the tabloids. The story quickly went viral. Speaking with Good Morning America, Owens admitted that he had worked at the grocery store for 15 months and was really devastated when the picture surfaced online. He didn't want the entertainment industry to think that he wasn't pursuing his passion just because he had a day job. "I had been teaching, acting, directing for 30 plus years, but, it got to the point where, it just didn't add up enough," he told GMA. "And you go to do what you got to do. I wanted a job that I could have some flexibility to try to stay in the business." Apparently, the tabloids' attempt to shame Owens completely backfired, and he was met with an outpouring of support from his Hollywood peers. Fellow actor Terry Crews admitted that he swept floors after the NFL, and Harry Potter star Chris Rankin revealed that he worked at a Weatherspoons after his gig as Percy Weasley. There's no shame in the hustle.
Bill Cosby is a serial. I'm hopeful that his sentencing will reflect the magnitude of the damage and havoc that he's wreaked on the lives of many women.
Several women have accused Bill Cosby of serious misconduct, including actions that took place while he was working on his popular TV show. Some of these women were invited to the tapings of the show, but later came forward with troubling stories about Cosby making inappropriate advances toward them. One actress, Lily Bernard, even accused him of. In 1990, Bernard met Cosby on the set of the show. Cosby told her he wanted to help with her acting career. He promised to treat her like his own daughter and warned her about pressures in Hollywood. He also promised her a bigger role on his show if she worked hard and followed his advice. But things soon took a dark turn. Bernard says that during an acting exercise, Cosby grabbed her breasts without her permission. She says the situation got worse when Cosby invited her to the Trump Taj Mahal casino in Atlantic City. He told her that a producer would be there to help her career, but Bernard says that Cosby drugged her and assaulted her. According to Bernard, after drinking something Cosby gave her, she began to feel dizzy and sick. She says she even vomited and then passed out. When she woke up, she found Cosby undressing her and later discovered he was on top of her, assaulting her. Bernard says she went in and out of consciousness and woke up in a bathtub, unable to move. The next morning, she woke up in bed, naked. Bernard claims Cosby then threatened her, saying she should never tell anyone about what happened. He allegedly warned her that he would ruin her career and make sure she never worked in Hollywood again. Bernard is suing Cosby for $125 million. She says the attack caused her emotional, mental, and physical harm. She added, "I have waited a long time to be able to pursue my case in court, and I look forward to being heard and to hold Cosby accountable for what he did to me." Bernard says that even though the attack happened many years ago, she still feels the fear, pain, and shame every day.
Some of the survivors, a couple of them started contacting me whom I didn't know. "I heard you're a victim, you have to come public." I'm like, no way, no way, no way, no way. And then finally found the courage to do it, and it was terrifying.
There are other women who have shared similar experiences. One woman, Eden Turrell, said that Cosby pressured her into having and touched her inappropriately in a dressing room. Cosby's case has been controversial for a long time. In 2005, documents from a civil lawsuit showed that Cosby admitted to getting prescription drugs, called Quaaludes, to give to women he wanted to sleep with. However, Cosby never admitted to actually drugging anyone. Cosby and one of his accusers, Andrea Constand, settled a case in 2006, but the accusations and lawsuits didn't stop. Many women like Bernard are speaking out now because they want Cosby to be held responsible for what they say he did to them.
I think, like a lot of people, I was really giving Bill the benefit of the doubt. This was not the man that I knew. This is not the man that I worked with. He may have had other faults, but he certainly was not drugging people and them.
Joseph C. Phillips, who worked with Bill Cosby on The Cosby Show, once thought Cosby couldn't possibly be guilty of the horrible crimes people were saying he did. At first, Joseph believed Cosby was innocent. He said, "This was not the man I knew." But Joseph changed his mind after talking to an old friend. She shared her story about being hurt by Cosby and cried for hours. She asked Joseph if he believed her, and he said, "Yes, I believe you." That moment changed everything for him. Joseph realized the truth and now supports the women who accuse Cosby. Some of Cosby's other co-stars have had different feelings. Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Cosby's TV son, talked about how hard this situation was for him. He said Cosby was like a mentor and taught him to stay humble. When the accusations came out, Malcolm said he didn't know what to believe. He spoke with Cosby and found out that Cosby's health was poor, but his spirit was still strong. Malcolm said he wasn't sure what really happened and called the situation sad and confusing. Felicia Rashad, who played Cosby's TV wife, defended him. She believed the accusations were part of a bigger plan to ruin his reputation. When Cosby's conviction was overturned, she called it a miscarriage of justice. Kesha Knight Pulliam, who played Rudy, also supported Cosby. She said, "The Bill Cosby I know is not the man people are talking about." She praised The Cosby Show for its positive impact on TV and education. Other cast members like Raven Simonet and Tempest Bledsoe have been more cautious. Raven said she was treated with kindness by Cosby, but wanted justice for everyone. And that is all for today. Until next time, bye.